Welcome back. This is Warsaw Pact, turn number 6. For tech this turn, we're going for tech number 1, just PGMs, tech number 2, AMD, and tech number 12, Top Gun. So it looks like we got the 1 here. Tech number 2, AMD will be completed. Moving up to stage number 4. Okay, for purchases, we have 19 IPP to spend. We're spending 6 on 2 SAMs, 4 on 2 early gen MBTs, 3 on a light infantry, and then 6 on 2 early gen fighters. I ran out of sculpts for the early gen fighters, so I'm using some Global 36 Soviet MiGs. So I have a couple of those on the board as well. For combat this turn, we have quite a bit. So yes, I think we'll start down here in Africa and work our way up. All right. You can see all of that there. Okay, we're attacking Tunis. So from West Libya, we're moving in an MBT, an airborne. He's just walking in, he's not doing an airborne assault, and a light infantry. Into Chad, we are attacking with our airborne infantry, an air cav, and early gen fighter. Into Nigeria, we're attacking with our air cav, and early gen fighter, and our attack helicopter. Up here in M8, we're firing 2 anti-ship missiles from the 2 nuclear subs in M4 into the fleet there. Moving up to Europe, we're firing a cruise missile at the major army base in Rhineland, and it will be coming from the major air base in East Germany. We're firing a cruise missile from a nuclear attack sub in A12, and also from the air base in Western Poland. And those will be going into Denmark, and just, I think it's called a surgical strike. And then for our actual combat move, into Northern Germany, we have everything in Eastern Germany except the 3 paramilitary. So we've got 3 light infantry. We have 5. Let me show you this card here. 3 light infantry. We have 5 field artillery. 1 MBT, 1 next gen MBT, 2 early gen MBTs, a SAM, and an airborne that is currently in West Germany. And then we're also moving 2 of the early gens from West Czech. They'll be moving 1 and then 2 into East Germany to help that fight out, giving us a total of 4 early gen MBTs in West Germany. We're taking in 1 air cav, 1 attack helicopter, 2 early gens from East Germany, and then they will also be joined with 1 early gen fighter from West Czech. Let's see here, what else we got? We have 1 AS fighter, we have 1 attack bomber, fighter, and also the medium bomber from Western or Eastern Poland, Western Poland, will be going into there as well. All right. So into northern Germany, we have 3 light infantry, 5 field artillery, 1 airborne, 1 SAM, 4 early gen MBTs, 1 MBT, 1 next gen, 1 medium bomber, 1 attack bomber, 1 air cav, 1 attack helicopter, 3 early gen fighters, and 1 fighter. I think I have everything there. Okay, into Bavaria. Again, we're moving everything from, or most everything from West Czech. Obviously not the paramilitary. We're keeping the artillery, or the self-propelled artillery, back, and also the SAM will be staying back, or one of the SAMs. Wait. Yeah, one of the SAMs. Oh wait, into northern Germany, you also had that second SAM from Western Czech, going 1 and 2. So giving us a total of 2 SAMs in northern Germany. All right, into Bavaria, we have, from Western Czech, we have 3 light infantry, 10 field artillery, a SAM, a next gen MBT, 4 early gen MBTs, 2 MBTs. We have 1 air cav, 1 attack helicopter, 1 early gen fighter. We're bringing in a 2nd early gen fighter from Romania, going 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he gets a movement bonus with the airbase. So he will land back in Western Czech. And then we have 1 attack bomber and 1 AS fighter from Western Poland. All right, I think that is it for the combat moves. So, make sure I have everything here. All right, let's get into resolving it then. I think we'll start with the cruise missile strikes and the anti-ship missile strikes. Let's do the anti-ship missiles first in M8. All right, so they're both being fired from M4, and looks like Connor gets 5 defense shots at 4 to intercept those. Okay, so we have 5 dice at 4. All right, it looks like the one hits, a 2, the other with 3 6s, and a 12. So that one anti-ship missile will be shot down. The other one gets through. All right, and I forgot to look what an anti-ship missile even hits on. So let me try to find that quick. Looks like on the sheet here it says it has a combat attack value of 5. So I'm assuming it's just a 5. If it's not, I guess we can take another look at it later. So I'll get 1 dice at 5 or less. It misses anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, the cruise missile attack in Denmark. We've got, again, a cruise missile coming in from the nuclear attack sub and 1 from the airbase in Western Poland, doing a surgical strike against the land units. His defending SAM gets defense. Was it 3 at 4? Is that what it was? Try to find that quick. I'm not seeing where I had even found that to look what that was here. Oh, there it is. SAM receives 1 missile defense die at 4 or less per enemy missile unit, up to max of 3 dice. Alright, I guess that's what we'll do then. So, that defending SAM would get 2 dice. What was it, 3? Two dice at 4. Okay, a 6 and a 6, so they both miss. And the cruise missile attacks at a 5, I believe. 1 hit. So Brian, I failed to ask you what you wanted to take there as casualty, so I just let that for now and then come back to that later. In my attack orders that I had put on the chat, I had those 2 cruise missiles going into northern Germany for surgical strike, but then I just read in the rules that you can't attack a land unit and have a surgical strike at the same time, so that's why I just moved them up to Denmark. So I'll ask you there what you want to take as a hit, or yeah, we'll get that later. All right. We have a cruise missile attack or strike on the major army base in Rhineland. And Brian gets 2 dice, 2 defense dice at 4 or less. A 6 and a 10, so those both miss. I think I hit on a 5 there as well. Okay, well, like always, you can't find anything when you're quickly trying to look for it. I forgot about trying to figure out what that was before I started my turn here, so I'll roll the dice and then figure out what happens later. So that's an 11. So, Brian, I'll just come back to that later again. As to what happens there. Alright, so that is all of our cruise missile attacks and everything like that. So, I think we can get into the battles. We're going to be starting here in northern Germany. Grab that card. Alright. So I've got 4 field artilleries using chem at 2 or less. I've got a total of 3 light infantry at 2. I have 4 early gen MBTs at 2. 1 MBT at 4. I've got a next gen MBT at 6. Okay, we have 2 SAMs that do not have any eligible targets, so they will just be retiring right away. Sorry, I can't even see all of that there. As well as the AS fighter will be retiring right away as well. We have 3 early gens at 3. We've got an airborne at 3, but the air cav with close air support is plussing the airborne up to 4, and the air cav will be moving up to 5 as well with close air support. Attack helicopter at 5, an attack bomber at 7, a fighter at 6, and a medium bomber at 5. Alright, I think we have all of that there in defense. Brian has a SAM. He's using SR-71 in this fight, so everything will be +1. The SAM will be firing at 3, 2 field artillery at 4 using chem, and then 4 next gens at 7. Alright, let's start rolling here. Okay, let's start with the first strike. So I need to go grab some more dice here. Alright, so we have 5 field artillery at 2, so they will be rolling 10 dice. 5, and then 5 more, giving us a total of 10. They will be rolling at 2 or less. Okay, looks like we have a couple there. We have 1, 2, 3, it looks like. So 3 hits with the chem. The first one will be disruption. So his next gen MBTs will slide down, back down to 6. And then that gives us 2 other hits there as well. First strike hits. I'm not sure where exactly that's supposed to go, but we'll just put it there for now. Alright, going to his first strike. He has a SAM and 2 field artillery, again using chem. So the SAM will get 3 shots or 3 dice at 3. A 1, 4, and an 8, so that is 1 hit. So we will be taking off 1 of the early gen fighters for that. And then his 2 field artillery will get 4 dice at 4. Okay, so we have 2 hits, a 1 and a 3, and we have 10 and a 12, so 2 hits. So he has 2 first strike hits, and I got 2 first strike hits as well. And Brian, you said that your casualty list will be the field artillery, then the SAM, and then the next gens. So that will take the 2 field artillery off. The SAM retires after the first round. And then for his 2 first strike hits, we're going to be taking 2 of the field artillery. So it puts us down to only 3 left. All right, let's get into the main combat here. So we have 4 early gen MBTs, and 3 light infantry at a 2. That is 2 hits, a 2, and a 1. So it's going to be 2. I guess just a general hit, I'm assuming. Okay, we have 2 early gen fighters at 3. 3 and an 11, so there's a total of 3 hits. And we have an airborne at 4. There is a 4th hit. And then MBT at 4, there's a 3, so there is a total of 5 hits. Let's get a couple more just in case I screwed up somewhere, because I'm sure I did. Attack bomber at 7, There's a hit. It's a 6. Hopefully y'all can see that there. Next gen MBT at a 6. There's a hit. Target select hit. And then a fighter at 6. There's a 7. So that gives us a total of 6 general hits and a target select. He's got 4 next gen MBTs and the SAM, so I think that should be sufficient. Hopefully I didn't screw that up too terribly. So in return, he is firing his 4 next gen MBTs, and they will be firing at a 6. We're left with a target select of 4. Alright, there is 3 hits. 2 of those are target selects. So he will be target selecting the next gen MBT as well as the MBT, and then the last hit was a general hit. So we'll be taking field artillery. I think I'm allowed to do that. If I'm not, just let me know and we will redo that. Alright, so I believe that concludes that battle. So surviving units, we have 2 field artillery, 3 light infantry, 4 early gen MBTs, 2 early gen fighters, which will have to land, an airborne, an attack bomber, an attack bomber, a medium bomber, a fighter, an attack helicopter, an air cav, an air superiority fighter, and 2 SAMs. All right. So moving back over here. So that card all moves into northern Germany. All right, that gives us 3 more IPP. So that will move us up to 322, and NATO will slide down to 53. All right, the next battle here will be in Bavaria. So I'll go ahead and get that set up. He has got 4 next gen MBTs. He has a SAM. He has 2 field artillery using chem. SAM is at 2. All right, coming in, we have everything up here. We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 field artillery using chem, 2 early gen fighters. He has no air units, so they will go straight to the normal combat. We have a air superiority fighter, which has no targets, so it will retire right away. As will the SAM. We have 2 light infantry at 2, 4 early gen MBTs at 2, 2 MBTs at 4, attack helicopter at 5, air cav at 4, next gen MBT at 6, and an attack bomber at 7. For the close air support, we'll be moving up the air cav to 5, and 1 of the light infantry will slide up to 3. All right, hopefully that's right there. So for the chem, we have 10 field artillery, so I'll be rolling this in 2 rolls. So we'll be doing the first half first and then the second half, so we have a total of 10 dice, and we're looking for 2s. All right, we have nothing at all, so those were all misses. All right, his SAM, 3 dice at 2, 7, 8, 12. Those are all misses. His two field artillery are at 3 using chem. So we get 4 dice. 7, 11, 5, and 7. Those are all misses. Okay. That is all the first strikes. So moving on to the general combat, we have 4 early gen MBTs and a light infantry at 2, giving us 5 at 2. There's 1 hit. All right, we have 1 light infantry at 3 and 2 early gen fighters at 3. Those both miss. The MBT at 4, or 2 MBTs at 4. That's 1 hit. 2 and 7. It's really hard to see. So that's 2 general hits. That's a target select, but wait, I guess that would matter, wouldn't it? So we have 1 general hit and 1 land target select hit. All right, the air cav and the attack helicopter are both at 5. There's 1 hit, so that's 2 general hits. The next gen MBT at a 6, a 5, so that's 3 general hits. And then we have the attack bomber at 7. That's a 6, so that gives us a total of 4 general hits. 4 general hits and then 1 land target select. All right, for the defense, we rolled his SAM and field artillery already, so it's only the 4 next gen MBTs. They will be rolling at a 6 or less. Okay, that's all kinds of target selects there. So 3 target selects. And Brian, if I read that correctly, I think you will be taking the next gen MBT, then the 2 MBTs. If I did that wrong, let me know. But I think that is what you had said there. All right, so to sign his hits, we have 4 general hits. So the 2 field artillery and the SAM, and then we'll have 1 next gen MBT to complete the general, and then a second MBT for the target select, which I guess it technically doesn't matter there because that's all that's left. All right, I think that concludes the first round. So let's go on to round 2. I'll be starting with rolling the highest units first because there is only 2 defending units left. So the attack bomber at a 7, that misses. An air cav at a 5, a 2, that's 1 hit. And then the attack helicopter at a 5, it's a 9, that misses. 2 early gen fighters and a light infantry at 3. That's all misses. A light infantry at 2. There's 1 hit. So that's our 2 hits. Let's see if we can get extra from the early gen MBTs, just in case I screwed something up again. There is a 1 extra hit, so we have a 2 there. All right, and then his 2 next gen MBTs will be responding at a 6. That is 1 general hit. So we'll be taking probably a field artillery off. All right, I think that was it. Hopefully, again, I did not mess that up too badly there. So, on the card there, we have 9 field artillery. We have 4 early gen MBTs. We have 2, I'm doing stuff and you can't even see what I'm doing. 2 light infantry. We have 2 early gen fighters. We have an air cav. Let me actually get a Warsaw Pact air cav. We've got an attack helicopter. We've got an AS fighter, 1 SAM, and 1 attack bomber that will be going into Bavaria. And Bavaria is also worth 3. So that will put Warsaw Pact up 3 to 25 and NATO down 3 to 50. Alright, those were the two main combats there. Let's do some of the smaller ones in Africa. So in Tunis we have MBT and airborne and light infantry, and NATO has a paramilitary defending. So let me go ahead and get that set up here. Okay, light infantry attacking at a 2. MBT is attacking at a 4. And the airborne is attacking at a 2 as well. And he has a defense with the paramilitary at 2. Alright, so we get 2 dice at 2 and 1 at 4. I'll just roll them separately here so I don't get confused even further. So the 2 infantry missed. The MBT rolls at a 4. Really close, but that's a miss. Paramilitary defends at a 2. That's 1 hit. We'll take the light infantry as a casualty. Alright, second round. Airborne at a 2. Missed. MBT at a 4. There's a hit. Paramilitary at a 2. That's a miss. So we will take Tunis with the airborne and the MBT. And Tunis is worth nothing, I don't believe. All right, going down to Chad, we have a early gen fighter at a 3. We've got a air cav at 4, and an airborne infantry doing an airborne assault at 3, and then in defense, the paramilitary will be at 2, and the field artillery will be at I guess it's a 3 on first strike. So all right, let's start rolling here. So first strike with the field artillery at 3, the 7, so that misses. The early gen fighter and the airborne infantry at 3, a 2 and a 6, so there is 1 hit. And then the air cav at 4, it's a miss. So we have 1 general hit. We're taking does the field artillery, it just moves to the battle board after first strike, I think. So that would mean that the paramilitary would be the least valuable of the 2. All right. Did I even roll for the paramilitary? I'm not sure. A 2. Okay, so there's 1 hit. I can't remember if I rolled that guy or not. So, let's see. I think we'll take the air cav, because if I take the airborne, then I can't take the territory. Okay, round 2. So we have an early gen fighter and an airborne at 3. Those miss. The field artillery at 3 in defense. There's another hit. Okay, we'll take the airborne, and then we'll have to we'll take the airborne, and then we'll just retreat. So Chad still has a field artillery there. The early gen fighter will just go back to West Libya. All right, for Nigeria, we have an early gen fighter at 3, the attack helicopter at 4, and the air cav at 4. With close air support, the air cav will move up to 5. And then in defense, there is a light infantry at 4. Alright, let's start with the early gen fighter at 3. There's a hit. Okay, so we need air cav, missed, attack helicopter, missed. Okay. But all we needed was 1, so light infantry at 4. That missed as well. So we will take Nigeria because the attack helicopter can do combat landing. The rest will have to fly back to West Libya. I'll just put them there. Technically non-combat, but we're done with the combat anyways. And Nigeria is worth 1 IPP. So that will move Warsaw Pact up to 26. Alright. For non-combat, all of our missiles will be moving into East Czech. So the theater missiles and the mobilized CBMs from Hungary will all be moving up. And then the theater missiles from West Poland will be going down into West Czech as well. So all of our missile units will be in West Czech. Our self-propelled artillery from West Czech will be going up to East Germany here with the others, like that. The 2 paramilitary from West Czech will be going up to East Germany. All right. I think that's everything in the north here. Oh, I gotta fly the planes back. Let me try to set this down. All right. The air cav and the attack helicopter in Bavaria will just go back 1 to East Germany. And they will be joined with the air cav and the attack helicopter from northern Germany as well. So we will have 2 air cav and 2 attack helicopters in East Germany. The SAM from West Poland will be sliding up into East Germany to join them. The 2 attack bombers, one from Bavaria and one from West Germany or North Germany, will both be going back to West Poland. The fighter will also be going back to West Poland. The medium bomber will go back to West Poland. The 2 AS fighters will both go back to West Poland. The early gen fighter that came from Romania will have to land back in West Czech. The 2 early gen fighters in, wait, was there 3? Or did I lose one? I think I lost one. Yeah. The 2 early gen fighters in North Germany will fly back to East Germany. So I'll give us 2 early gens in East Germany. All right, and then the 1 early gen that started in West Czech is going to go 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 back down to Romania. So giving us 1 early gen fighter in Romania. All right, I think that is everything. All right, place units. We're placing the light infantry. The light infantry will be placed in Romania. Actually, let's place it in Bulgaria at the minor army base. The 2 early gen NBTs will be placed in Romania. One SAM will be placed in Romania. The second SAM will go into West Poland. The 2 early gen fighters, the 1 will go into West Czech, giving us a total of 2 early gen fighters in West Czech. The second one will go down to Romania, giving us 2 early gen fighters in Romania as well. Like that. All right, for collecting income, let's see, we're collecting 26 IPPs this turn, and we also get a couple bonuses from Africa. So it looks like let's see here. Maybe not actually. I thought I seen that I got some somewhere. Oh, there it is. Chad and Nigeria both gain us 2. So we have Nigeria, not Chad. So that'll be 2 extra for Nigeria. I think that is it. Yep, so total of 2 extra. So that'll get us 26, 27, 28 IPP for next turn. And then that oil in Nigeria, I'm not sure if that is like an extra 2 IPP or what that thing is. I'll have to look at what that means. So we'll just leave that for now. I'll maybe come back to that when I figure out what that actually is. Yeah, sorry about, I should have done that beforehand, but I did not think about it. All right, for battle stars, try to find that paper. Looks like winning a battle to capture an enemy land zone is 1. So we won a battle in North Germany, Bavaria, Tunis. Not sure if Nigeria counts because that was neutral. So for sure 3 battle stars for the land victories. Possibly 4, not sure, I'll have to look at that. Or ask someone who's smarter than me. Did not win any in defense. I think that's it. So we have 3 battle stars that we end our turn with. Alright, that completes turn number 6 for Warsaw Pact. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much I messed up on this turn. So yeah, we'll have to come back and fix that later.